My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing, my peoples. Y'all know how we get down. Y'all know how we get down this early. Let's get it. Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. Less than a month away, y'all. Less than a month away, and we gonna get this real action. Christopher, what's up, my G? Salute. We on it, my guy. We on it. We talking boxing, the sweet science, baby. MAW. Hello, boxing fans. Jay and chat. Subscribe, my people. Share. Smash that like button. MAW. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in this morning. And by the way, I want to tell you guys, good morning. I feel honored. I feel privileged that you guys decide to spend a little bit of time of your morning talking boxing with your boy Jay Smith. So salute to everybody who's tuning in. It's not even 7 in the morning. So wherever you at is definitely early and you want to talk boxing. Breed, what's up, bro? Salute from Germany. Ooh, Germany's in the building. Salute, my brother. You know what we doing, man? We talking boxing. Devin Haney, Brian Norman Jr. That's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Um, it seems like you have people predicting it and they feel comfortable going for Devin. They feel very comfortable going for Brian Norman Jr., right? I got people saying Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock him out. And then there's the folks who saying, nah, yo, Devin is going to make it look easy. Devin is going to beat Devin. Young Guns in the building. Salute, my G. I want to tell you a little bit. I want to help you guys see why, in my case, I'm having a hard time, making a prediction. I get it. There's folks who are like, nah, I know who's going to win that fight. Sometimes I feel confident. Y'all seen with Crawford and Canelo. Months and months and months of saying what was going to happen. With this one, I don't feel confident enough to just put it out there like that. But I want to tell you guys why. Because I've been asked so many times, yo, what's up? Who you got for this fight? Who you got for... I keep getting that question. Okay, I'm going to tell you. I'm gonna give you my reason so that you understand where I'm at with it. So, Agent 17, salute, my brother. So let's think about Devin Haney's skill set, right? We know Devin Haney has the great footwork, ring IQ. We know about the hand speed, the great counter punching, the body punching. Devin Haney, he does it all. And then his defense stands out, right? Footwork, crazy. Okay. So, does he win this fight for the people who say that he's going to win, right? Does he win the fight by using his footwork, by being all over the place? Or does he win that fight by standing there and having to fight? I want you guys to consider something real quick. Damn, man, they keep changing. What the hell is this? It's just about... Okay, here we go. I want to show you guys something. Real quick. Y'all remember Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko? Think about Devin versus Loma. And it was completely the opposite of Devin Haney, Jose Ramirez, right? It was nowhere near that type of fight. Why not? Oh, very simple. Lomachenko is the type of fighter with the athleticism to stay in front of Devin Haney. So he was successful in forcing the action. Why? Because Lomachenko had not just the athleticism, but the footwork to stay in front of Devin Haney. And because of that, it was a different type of fight, my peoples. Lomachenko versus Devin Haney wasn't the usual Devin Haney fight. In fact, you guys may recall, right after the fight, it was a shitstorm of people talking about Lomachenko won that fight and got robbed. And in fact, I was one of them. But I'm going to keep it 100 with you. And some people might not like it if you had Lomachenko winning it. After I rewatched the fight again, I had Devin Haney edging it out. Watching it a second time, I had him edging the fight out. And I'm going to tell you why. The first time we saw it, I realized we had Lomachenko winning because we just haven't seen somebody put so many hands on Devin like that. So it's like, now he beat him, because we not used to it, right? We not used to seeing Devin, somebody hitting him that much. But then when you go back and watch the fight, and you really watch, who's landing the best shots, Devin Haney was on the money with that body. That counter shot right there that you see, he was on the money. He was landing it flush. He was landing it hard. Salute to Lomachenko, man, because you know the type of great shape that you have to be in to take that shot to the body consistently throughout the fight and never fold. Never fold, never nothing. Loma ate every single one of those body shots and just kept it moving. So salute to him, great conditioning. And he gave Devin Haney a great fight. But ultimately, just do boxing in the building. Salute, my brother. We up early, man. Talking about the sweet signs, what we love. But ultimately, my peoples, I had Devin Haney edging it out. The first time I was like, nah, yo, Loma got him. But it's like I told you, is that emotional effect of seeing somebody put so many hands on Devin. It's like, nah, goddamn, he beat him. I watched it a second time, and honestly, I had Devin winning it after that. It's like, yeah, he edged it out. So ultimately, Devin Haney won that fight, but I bring it up because I want to point out how Lomachenko had the athleticism to stay in front of Devin. So it wasn't the usual Devin Haney fight, the usual Devin Haney win. Enter Brian Norman Jr. Enter Brian Norman Jr., my peoples. I want you to consider these factors, and that's why it's hard for me to make a prediction. Everybody's going one side or the other. We see what Devin Haney's about. But let's think about Brian Norman Jr., right? We already know that he's never faced anybody in that, on that level like that. We know that. Just do boxing. I had it 7-5 for Haney. He won the 12-2, in my opinion. That's how I had it too. You see? Just do boxing, know his shape. I had it 7-5. There you have it. That's how I had it. But let me ask you a question, just do boxing. Did you have it 7-5 the first time, watching it live? Because I'm going to be honest, watching it live, I didn't have it like that. But my emotions kicked in when I saw Loma, having his little flurries, little moments. And then rewatching it, I realized, damn, a lot of those punches got blocked too. A lot of there was a lot of things that you was like, oh, watching it live. But then when I went back, it was a great fight, very close. Devin got it. But even if Brian Norman Jr. never faced anyone of that caliber, consider this. He's a big guy, very strong, and athletic. That's the key word right there. Athletic, the athleticism. He's not going to be a Jose Ramirez, flat-footed, kind of coming forward, trying to... Just like Lomachenko was able to stay in front of Devin and force the action, I feel like Brian Norman Jr., with his skill set, is going to be able to stay in front of Devin Haney and force the action. He's going to be able to do it. But we know that Devin Haney on the inside, he can be crafty. How can he do that for 12 rounds? Just do boxing. First time watching it live, I thought Haney pulled it off. Loma had the more dominant rounds, though. I feel you, bro. I feel you. But honestly, I'm keeping it 100. The first time that I watched the fight, I had Loma winning. I was like, nah, yo, Loma. I even posted about it. Nah, yo, Lomachenko got robbed, bro. They robbed him. But it's the emotions. When you see a guy like Devin who we're used to seeing him dominating opponents, bro, when you see him in a close fight, life and death, you're like, nah, bro got him. But I think that you judged it by what you saw and not let my emotions get the best of me during the fight. And then the next day when I rewatched it, I was like, damn. Yesterday I gave this round to Lomachenko, but goddamn. You seen them counter punches from there? Ooh, to the body digging hard. I'm like, nah, this round go to Dev. I'm wildin'. MAW Hannibal, salute, brother. Been a while. Hannibal's in the building, salute. Bam. My peoples, I'm trying to tell you, look, Devin Haney versus Lomachenko was a competitive fight. It was a close fight. But ultimately, the winner was Devin Haney, fair and square. Can he beat Brian Norman Jr. in that type of fight, though? Can he do that? Because I'm telling you, my people, look, Brian Norman Jr., and I promise you this, I can't make a prediction yet, but I promise you that he's going to do a very good job of staying in front of Devin. He has the athleticism to do that. So it's not going to be nowhere near the type of fight that it was versus Jose Ramirez. Nowhere near. Where Devin is going to be able to dance circles around Brian Norman Jr. It's not happening. It's not. So the real question becomes, what happens when they trading leather on the inside? Now, power doesn't always win these exchanges. Exhibit A, Lamar Roach versus Tank Davis. Lamar Roach wasn't obviously the harder puncher. He won most of the exchanges on the inside. Devin can do the same thing. Will he, though? Can he? Can he eat a big shot from Brian Norman Jr., a.k.a. the Assassin? So that's the reason why I'm having a hard time making this prediction. I know what Devin brings to the table, and I know what Brian Norman Jr. brings to the table. So when I see people say, nah, Devin is going to wash him and it's going to be easy, I'm like, damn, that's a tough prediction for me to make. That's a tough one. I ain't never seen Brian Norman Jr. get made to look easy or get washed. So I never... It's kind of like when people were saying Crawford was going to get washed by Canelo. I was like, God damn. I respect it if you got Canelo winning the fight. I can respect that. But to say that Canelo was going to wash him and make him look easy, that was disrespectful, man. That was just disrespectful. Be honest, my people. You don't do that. That's not even cool. By the way, my peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Before we keep it moving, I just got to say, to me, it's a privilege and an honor that you guys take a little bit of your morning to talk boxing with your boy Jay Smith. It's 7 in the morning right here. Wherever you at, it's early. You up early, talking boxing, listening to boxing. Man, salute to every single one of you, my peoples. Bam. Just do boxing. Breathe. Shakur versus Haney won't happen. Bill not confident his son will win that fight. Man, listen, Just Do Boxing. I agree with you 100%. You probably remember the video of Bill Haney where he got secretly recorded. Like, nah, man, we not trying to do a wish Shakur. Like copping a plea and all that. So, I'm gonna put it to you like this, bro. Devin Haney's duck of Shakur Stevenson was one of the most strategically planned that I've ever seen, because they did it in such a way that people refuse to acknowledge that they duck. They were smart about it. They did the, oh, let me send you the low ball offer. You reject it, I'm out of here. So what happens for the people who don't like Shakur? Right away they started the narrative. Nah, he should have took the offer. He should have took the offer. That was the most strategically planned duck you ever saw. Just Do Boxing. Yup, that video says it all, Jake. Somehow it got swept under the rug, my peoples. I knew Just Do Boxing. You know about the video. But think about it. Doesn't it feel like it got swept under the rug at some point and it kind of disappeared? It ain't disappeared from right here, though. Breed. But we both know fans, just shit talkers. Breed. But yo, I remember when Shakur turned down the Haney fight because the split was 30-70. So let me explain to you something, Breed. And right now, to every single one of you, the ones who agree with me with what I say, you got to hit the like button. You got to hit the like button with what I'm about to say. Watch this. When Devin Haney made that offer to Shakur Stevenson, Shakur was his mandatory, right? And as most of you know, if you're somebody's mandatory, the fight is mandated, and you can't come to an agreement, you guys are headed for a purse bid. That's it. There's no getting around it, right? We going to purse bid. Well, this is what happened with Shakur and Devin. When Shakur turned it down, they were headed for a purse bid. So I want you to consider this, Breed. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up. When you go to purse bid, generally, look it up. Don't take my word for it, or you may already know this. In a purse bid, the champion generally gets between 70 and 80%. And the challenger gets 30 to 20. Generally. Look it up. Fact check me, my brother. Which means, had they gone to purse bid, Shakur could have actually ended up getting less at the purse bid because he could have got 20 instead of the 30 that he was offered. He was gambling it. He was gambling it. But here's the main point, Breed, that you have to understand. And I remember this because I posted about it. On a Monday or Tuesday, I posted, Devin Haney's not going to run anymore. They going to purse bid on Friday. I think it was a Friday or Saturday. I'm like, they going to purse bid, and now he's going to have to fight Shakur. You may not remember this, Breed, but I sure do. About 3 days before the purse bid, Devin Haney announced that he was dropping the title and going to 140. Now, he only dropped the title that Shakur was mandatory for and left to 140 and capped all of the other titles until eventually he had to vacate them. So, why did he choose not to go to purse bid and find out how much money he was going to get? Think about that. Because going to purse bid, you're not signing a contract. You're not agreeing to anything. There's a bunch of fighters who went to a purse bid and then turned it down. Was like, nah, that was not enough money. Boo Boo, when he went to a purse bid with Johnny Bay, the money that was offered, Boo Boo turned it down. Like, nah, I ain't gonna fight for that. You could do that. But what if he would have got a bunch of money and obviously the bigger piece of the pie? Why did he choose not to go to purse bid? Think about that, my brother. Why did he choose not to go to purse bid? And I'm going to give you the answer to that question. Because if he went to purse bid and got the same 70% that he wanted and still turned down the fight, you guys was gonna know he was capping about that 70-30. You guys are gonna know. He did not want to fight Shakur. So instead of going to purse bid and making it obvious, he left the division and allowed you guys to assume that, hey, it's Shakur's fault. It's Shakur's fault. Queda de eso. Pues, opa, ya, llévatela porque después, mira. Think about it. That's why I tell you it was the most strategic duck that you've seen. Because it made it seem like it wasn't a duck. Oh, it's Shakur's fault. He should have took the offer. I want you to think about this, Breed. They compared it with Devin Haney fighting Cambosos and taking his offer. Remember that? I'm going to tell you why. That's a horrible comparison. I'm going to remind you that Cambosos was a champion and Devin Haney was a champion. You know what that means? If you're both champions, you will never beat each other's mandatory, ever. If I'm a WBA champion and you're an IBF champion, we could never be mandatory for each other. Which means that the only way that Devin could have become undisputed was by taking whatever the hell Cambosos wanted. You had to do whatever Cambosos wanted to get that fight. Shakur didn't have to. He was his mandatory. He didn't have to do what he wanted. He was his mandatory. So what is the difference? Cambosos could have walked away at any moment from Devin's negotiation. Like, man, F you. You don't want to give me what I want? I'm out with my titles. Devin Haney walked away from Shakur and lost his title. Lost his undisputed status. And I'm going to tell you, because I'm the human algorithm, my people, so I tell you shit that you don't remember. Look it up. There's a video out there where somebody told Devin Haney why he don't drop the titles after being undisputed. Because he got to pay all them sanctioning fees when he fight. And his answer was, don't quote me because I don't know the exact words, but it was something along the lines like, undisputed means a lot. I'm not dropping my belts. No, it's not happening. Well, when Shakur came breathing down your back, pause, that's exactly what you did. You dropped the belt and left the division. Duck. Just do boxing. And remember, the offer was 75-25. Haney knew Shakur would get more than that in the purse bid, which is why they vacated the titles and moved up. The Hydro Grind. Good morning, my peoples. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you dropping in, man. Breathe. Money May started all this BS. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson, it really is the boogeyman, and people don't want to admit it. He really is the boogeyman. Think about how many fighters have expressed that they don't want to fight him. And then you see Tank Davis. Tank Davis ducks Shakur blatantly at this point. So Shakur Stevenson is that guy. And I told y'all, Shakur, he's gonna take over boxing at some point. He's gonna take over the sweet science. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. Shakur Stevenson at some point is gonna be the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. I told you that. Black Jericho, Devin about to whoop that boy. Who has Shakur fought? The Hydro Grind. I'm going to remind you that you literally told me that William Zepeda was going to beat up Shakur because Shakur got brittle hands And William Zepeda is too strong and it was gonna apply that pressure and even stop Shakur. You told me that. Shakur beat him, now you made him a nobody. That's the problem. When he beat him, you turn him into a nobody right after. Juan Ocasio, only in today's boxing, Shakur can be boogeyman. Now he be boogeyman in every era. Every era, you put Shakur, he a boogeyman. I mean, let me take that back. I'm wilding. He might beat all of them, but he's not gonna be a boogeyman because back then they was fighting everybody. It was really about that life. They didn't care about taking an L. Black Jericho, y'all can't act like Zepeda wasn't a legitimate win. Yo, Black Jericho, the Hydra grind told me Zepeda was gonna knock Shakur out. The Hydra grind. And now Zepeda's nobody to him. Damn, the Hydra grind. That's crazy. Kobe, Shakur needs to fight Mason or Schofield. Then I can give him his flowers. He hasn't done nothing at 135 yet. I mean, wow. You're a world champion. Our world champion hasn't done nothing, bro. You gotta measure things differently. What Tank done at 135? Come on now. Juan Ocasio, you Wallace Smith. Black Jericho, he doesn't remember saying that. They never do. They never do. Where's all the people who told me that Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out? Black Jericho, Zepeda is better than anyone Tank faced besides maybe Lamar. I'm telling you, the same people who told me that Zepeda was going to knock Shakur out now turn Zepeda into a nobody. Now Zepeda's a nobody to y'all. Now he aight. That's crazy. That's crazy. Think about you telling me that Shakur was gonna get beat up by Zepeda, and that's what you got, the Hydro grind. That's what you got. Black Jericho, the background. Those must have been Mexican bots. Nah, bro, it wasn't Mexican bots. The Hydro grind, you could call him a Dominican bot, but he's a, you know, a very good, top-notch content creator, but he's a tankomaniac too. The Hydro grind is a paid-up beast. Ah, so then Shakur be a beast. You can't say he didn't beat nobody. Hold on. You can't say he didn't beat nobody. Black Jericho, that boy Zepeda was going through it against Shakur, bro. It was just nothing he could do. From the outside, from the inside, from wherever he wanted it, he was getting punched in the face. Black Jericho, I myself thought Zepeda on PEDs throwing over 1,200, 1,300 punches a fight. I mean, look, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because to be honest, I don't like the idea of blaming someone for steroid use if there's no evidence of that. You know, I think it's unfair, because then if they're clean, it's super unfair to them. The Hydro grind. Pull up the box ring side by side. That's irrelevant. Black Jericho. Shakur shut all that down. Masterclass. I'm surprised how many people felt like Zepeda was gonna like beat him up. Beat him up. And it's like, you gotta learn from that, my people. Undefeated champions don't just go around getting beat up. What is you doing? Like, people make predictions based on what they're hoping for. You wish Zepeda beat Shakur up, so that's what you're gonna predict. That's not how it works, bro. Y'all gotta stop with the emotional predictions. Nah, 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 nah. Stop saying undefeated champ. Just like with Canelo and Bud. Crawford's gonna get washed, made to look easy. Really? Hmm? Kobe Santos, Artem Zepeda. He hasn't done anything, brother. Keishan did more at 135. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Black Jericho. That's what they doing with Norman Haney. Emotional pick. Emotional picks. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not making an emotional pick. That's why I need to take my time, because if you look at the skill set that Brian Norman Jr. brings to the table, if you look at what Devin Haney is able to do in the ring, this is a tough fight for both of them. Tough, tough fight. MAW, Zepeda can rise again. Shakur style is just a problem for anyone, in my humble opinion. Now listen. William Zepeda is a world caliber type fighter. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes a world champion. In fact, his skill set, he has a very good chance of becoming a world champion at some point, some belt. He's gonna grab a title. I don't know if he's the guy to grab a title and defend it a bunch of times, or grab a title and lose it after one defense. I don't know. But Zepeda's that good. It's just that everyone Shakur beats, people turn him into a nobody. Look at Conceição. This guy's an Olympic. Is he a silver medalist? Can't remember, but Conceição, guy's a world champion. Guy became a world champion and everything. And he's a nobody. So, Reed, do you think Garcia was juiced up against Haney? Well, he tested positive. So, I honestly, there's some controversy behind that makes me not feel sure about whether or not he did it deliberately. But that's something that I'm kind of just not sure. But he tested positive and he served the suspension. So that's a fact that we know. Just do boxing. Shakur has never faced an opponent with a losing record. People say who he fought: Joel Gonzalez, Nakatila, Christian Diaz, Jamel Herring, Oscar Valdez, Robson Conceição, Yoshino, Artem, Edwin De Los Santos. There you have it. Just do boxing. I appreciate you, which is what you do on your channel anyways. This is what you do. Bring up the facts. This is what you, my peoples, if you're not subscribed to Just Do Boxing, go ahead and subscribe. Because that right there is what he does. That's why I'm subscribed. That's why I Just Do Boxing, I'm subscribed to your channel, my G. Because I'm not about the bullshit. I'm about the facts. And if you look at the resume, name for name, bro, Shakur Stevenson resume is fire. Fire. Why do you think that he's on the pound for pound list? You think you get on the pound for pound list for beating bums? Look at everybody else in the pound for pound list. So Shakur the only guy that got on there by not beating nobody? Come on, man. It's the hate narrative. He didn't beat nobody. But then go ahead and check out the accomplishments. Go ahead, check out the accomplishments. Check out the accomplishments. So Shakur Stevenson is a reason why he's on the pound for pound list, and it's because he's beating top-notch opponents and has been doing it for years. Superman, nah, because Corey nice like that. He does his thug thizzle. Hell yeah. Black Jericho. You got fighters today studying and copying Shakur, but Shakur ain't good. It's what they will tell you. Listen, I seen videos of kids saying, I want to be like Shakur. I seen a couple of videos of that. I'm talking about kids 10, 11, that got their skills, that look like they got some type of trajectory. Talk about they want to be like Shakur. Superman. The animation, Jay, that was funny. Young Guns. Shakur would end that who you fight talk if Tio would step in the ring. But I think he ducking. Damn, bro. That's one right there. That situation is annoying me. Because, bro, I want to see them fight. I want to see Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez fight. The problem, it looks like Tio playing games, man. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. Give me a second, my people. Es por fuera que queda por demás. Juan Ocasio, Shakur needs to move to 140. I mean, that's where the fight with Teofimo Lopez will take place, bro, at 140. Breed, he should have been by Eddie Hearn, not Jay Prince. I think most just don't understand Shakur is an IQ boxer. Look, man, Shakur Stevenson is the closest that we've seen to Floyd Mayweather. Like, period. There's nobody even close. And people try to, discredit him and try to say, no, because Floyd was this and Floyd was that. But I'm just talking about being the hardest guy to hit, like with a good shot, with a hard shot. It was Floyd Mayweather, and that's the case with Shakur Stevenson right now. It's really hard, man. Like, how often do you see Shakur get hit with a big shot? Boom! Oh, like, you don't see that. Juan Ocasio, I don't know what you're talking about. Tank is a punching bag, bro. Tank is literally a punching bag. He take mad punches to the face. Like, what are you, what are you talking about? And Lomachenko's retired. Stop the hate for Shakur Stevenson, bro. You literally brought up a retired guy and a guy who get punched in the face like crazy. Yo, you gotta stop it. Black Jericho. What you mean Shakur ain't little? I mean, look, there's always a hate narrative. So what happens is, Juan Ocasio, right? When you never boxed a day in your life, when you never laced on a pair of gloves in your life, you come up with these angles because you have to figure out a way to hate. That's why you're never gonna see nobody in boxing actually making those talking points that you make. No, nobody. Yeah. That's stuff that you make up in your head because you watch boxing on TV. And you think you know boxing. And you gotta listen to Roger Mayweather. He said it. Most people don't know shit about boxing. Juan Ocasio, you most people. Young Guns, Jay Smith don't mean to switch topic real quick. But do you see Parker Worley is 60 on pay-per-view? What? Goddamn. I did not know that, my G. That's crazy. What? That's crazy. I mean, I guess I think it's crazy because Turkey's been lowering the prices and all that stuff. And I didn't think we were going to see, anything over $50 unless it was like big, like the biggest names in boxing. So these two guys, they not they stars, but not like that. Not like that. Moses the messenger. That's all I do, my brother. Drop the facts. Black Jericho. Turkey did the old bait and switch. Coño, loco, the switcher Rooney. But I'm going to tell you something, my peoples. Getting with Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney, that's a fight that I will make a prediction, but I'm just not ready to. I'm not ready to. I'm honestly not ready to. Juan Ocasio, he was just trying to fight Conor Benn a few months ago. I don't even know how is that relevant. I told you don't know shit about boxing. Breed, what do you think about Joseph Parker with the brick guy this weekend? I'm gonna tell you this. Parker versus Wardley is gonna turn into a slugfest. And it's gonna be early. It's gonna turn into a slugfest. There's gonna be fireworks. I don't see that fight making it the distance. I don't see it making it to the championship rounds. It can happen, but I don't see it. It's gonna be bombs away. Just do boxing. Hit the like button, my peoples. That's what it is. Appreciate you, my brother. An hour. I ain't even got 20 likes. A whole hour, bro, of dropping facts on top of facts on top of facts. Black Jericho. Parker going to outbox Wardley. Easy. Ooh. I got UD Parker. I don't see that fight going the distance, man. I don't know. I think it's going to turn into a slugfest, and it won't take too long. Wardley's going to mess around and get aggressive. Parker's going to be like, oh, you want to do it like this? Hold that down, son. Young Guns, do you believe in fighters having momentum? Yes, sir. I believe in that. And Parker does have momentum. I've actually mentioned that. So I believe in that 100%. Yes, sir. Parker should be the fit. I think he is the betting odds favorite, if I'm not mistaken. But he should be the favorite. Parker should be the favorite. Black Jericho. Oh, y'all watching, smash that like button. It's a double tap. Just like that. Black Jericho. I don't see Parker as a huge finisher. If he can get non-stressful win against Wardley, that will be for the best. That's the problem, though. You're not going to get a non-stressful win versus Wardley. This guy's coming in, swinging the haymakers at you. You're going to do that. So Parker nice with it. But he's not going to dance around and try to dance around Wardley for 12 rounds. I don't see that happening at all. I see him getting forced into a firefight. Black Jericho. I don't think Wardley has it. We'll see. Because when you don't think he has it, I'm pretty sure you're not talking about power, right? Can't be talking about power. Because he definitely has that. Breed, is going to be a wild fight. I'm telling you. It's going to be a wild fight. Black Jericho, not skills. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Whether or not you trust in his skills to be able to outbox Parker, you have to understand the type of power that he has and the type of fight that he's going to try to make, knowing that he can't outbox him. Y Ryan. Jason Williams, top of the morning. My people, salute. And everybody else tuning in, man, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. We talking about Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney. They're about to fight. And by the way, I said it before. Oh, let me show you this, guys. Check this out. Bam. Check out that image, y'all. Now, the reason, guys, I show you that image is because 9 months ago, I posted Canelo versus Crawford. And look what I said. Bud Crawford is going to whoop Canelo Alvarez. And look at the bottom. Who the hell starts a conversation by saying that? I made that meme because when 9 months ago, the fight hadn't even been announced. Nobody, when I posted that, people was laughing at me. Crawford is never gonna get a fight with Canelo. He don't deserve it. That fight doesn't make sense. I would never even want to watch that fight. Crawford's just looking for a payday. He know he will get knocked out. And then look, the fight did happen, and what I said would happen, did happen. I try to tell people. MAW, Parker deserves title shot again, in my humble opinion, especially if he beats Wardley. Honey gave Wardley trouble until he got stopped. Triple J stopped Parker, but Parker has shown good durability, improved under Andy Lee. Now, look, to be honest with you, I felt like Parker deserved a title shot, even without having to fight Wardley. I felt like he deserved a title shot. Black Jericho, right, he doesn't deserve it. I remember all that now. All the Bud haters are fans. Remember, he didn't deserve it. He didn't do enough. And then we saw how that played out. So now we know. Now we know who's the face of boxing. We all clear on that, right? I think there don't need to be no arguments on the matter. Breed, Parker Ben deserved it. That's what I'm talking about. To me, Parker deserved a title shot even before fighting Wardley. The stars didn't align or for whatever reason. MAW, yeah, Parker title shot overdue. In my humble opinion. I'm with you on that. Black Jericho, Parker deserves it. Before the Bacoli fight. You see? I think so far, it's unanimous. I think most people feel that way. That Parker should have got a title shot. All right. Let's see after this. Let's see after this fight. Because Parker's one of those guys who has the skills to beat anyone. I'm not saying he's going to beat Usyk. I'm not saying he's going to beat whoever. But he has the skills on any given night to walk out of there with a dub. You have to consider that. Let me get you. Don't do that, Ryan. Now, peoples, like I told y'all earlier, man, right now, it's 7:40 in the morning where I'm at. It's definitely early in the morning where you're at. And you guys took a little bit of your time in the morning to listen to boxing or to talk boxing. Some of you hit the like button. Some of you didn't hit the like button. But I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to have you guys spend time with Jay Smith early in the morning talking boxing. Ryan, don't do that. Come on, son. You know, it's an honor and a privilege for me to have you guys tuning in and enjoying boxing for breakfast early in the morning. My peoples, we on it Mondays through Fridays. So salute and one love to everybody tuning in, whether or not you hit the like button and whether or not you hating on me. Breed, 1341 in Germany, my brother. Black Jericho. Is Joseph Parker not a draw? He gets no hype. Honestly, I don't know how much of a draw he is on his own. I think that he's a star, but not a huge star. But then again, I don't know how much of a star he is in the UK, for example. But the thing is, man, that there's fighters who they have a large following and a lot of support in the UK and in Europe. And that we don't see them as... Look at Chisora, for example. Think about Chisora, who has multiple losses, but he's fought, at a high level. When he fights, he has a lot of fans showing him love. And I want to say something that this shouldn't even be controversial. But one thing I like about UK fans is that, their guy can have 3, 4, 5 losses, and they still support him the same way, B. They still go to their fights. They still be yelling. They still be wearing shirts. They still, like, that fan appreciation towards the fighters, it doesn't change when they lose. And that's why I bring up Chisora. Because, every time he fights, you see him getting standing ovations. You see the crowd going crazy. Like, win, lose, or draw, people love him. People absolutely love him. Look at Errol Spence. He got 1 loss. And people don't even talk about him no more. He already discredited. Like, he done. He washed. He got beat. The car accident. That's what happens now. But you go to the UK, you see fighters who have multiple losses, and people love them the same way that they did when they was undefeated. That should be all over the world. Parker got a lot of fans in Europe. That's facts. I agree with you on that. Black Jericho, I've never been to Europe. I wouldn't know, but I do respect the European boxing fans. They hold their fighters accountable. Facts. Spence was named your average dude would know. Spence was the name the average dude would know. Let me point something out, and I want you to think about that. Look at the UK fighters who have multiple losses on their record and how they're treated by the fans. And then look at US fighters who have multiple losses on their record and how they treated by the fans. You see people in the UK showing mad love. You see how you describe Chisora, a warrior, a real one, a fighter. There's all these ways that they would describe Chisora. But if you bring up Errol Spence, unless you're trying to have a positive conversation, he washed, he done, he cooked, a car accident and all this other shit, he not the same. It's unfortunate because the day before Terrence Crawford beat him, the day before, they was just saying he was going to knock Terrence Crawford out. Happened just like with Canelo. They went from saying Bud was going to get knocked out and segued right into the car accident, and he not the same anymore. And that day, his dog ate his homework, and he didn't find good weed, so he had to smoke trash that day, so that's the reason why he lost. All type of crazy excuses. Anything to avoid giving the face of boxing his flowers. That's always been the case. But If you don't acknowledge that Terrence Crawford is the face of boxing, think about what Jerome Boots Ennis just said the other day. Boots said exactly what I've been telling you guys for months. Well, not for months. I'm wilding out. The fight was only 1 month ago. But Boots said the same thing I said. Yo, he beat the face of boxing. He is the face of boxing. And he earned the right to fight whoever he want to fight. Said it himself. So think about if you spent 3 months saying that Crawford was going to get knocked out. 3 months saying that Crawford was too little. 3 months saying that he wasn't going to be able to handle the power. Weight classes for a reason. And then you had to see this. Do you know that some people have never commented on the channel since that fight? Since that fight, there's people who used to be in the comment section every single day who have never commented since. Some of them, I'm pretty sure, changed their name to something else so that they can keep commenting and not have to admit. There was this one guy who used to tell me every day that he couldn't wait for the following day so that I could admit that I don't know boxing. I still haven't seen him. Still haven't seen him. So yes, Terrence Crawford is indeed the face of boxing. We can't get around that, my peoples. We just can't do it. But another thing to point out. Why people having a hard time admitting that Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach? Why you having a hard time admitting it? Tank Davis ducked Lamont Roach, my peoples. It don't matter how much money he's gonna get versus Jake Paul. He still duck. Superman. Bro, on one channel, they were talking about him cutting weight, not looking good. Breed, I thought Bo would lose. You told me he would win. And I came the next day and gave you the respect. But that was you, Breed. But since you was around that whole time leading up to the fight, how many people like yourself have you seen come back? In all honesty, Breed, that I can remember off the top of my head, because I'm not going to remember everybody, right? But I remember you and 2 other people. You, the Hydro Grind, and 1 other person who the next day actually told me, damn, Jay, you was right. You was right, fuck it. You got it. It was like 3 people, bro. Bro, we old school, you're right. You see, we old school people, we don't need to always be right or not accept when we not right. It's easy. It's super. It's easier to just be honest. We 70s, bro, you see? It's easier to just be honest. Let me give you an example. I predicted Tank Davis was going to stop Lamont Roach by round number 9 or before that. That was my prediction. And we saw how that fight played out. I was wrong. The thing about making predictions is that people sometimes don't understand. We're not psychics. I'm not claiming to be a psychic. You're never going to meet anyone that gets everything right. That's the reality. Black Jericho. You saw one scale when he was preparing for this fight, now but huge. Keep hoping. Bro, listen. People went from telling me that Terrence Crawford was too small to Terrence Crawford was too big. And he a weight bully. I want you guys to just go back 3 months before the fight. And I'm going to quote myself. What I said was going to happen is that Terrence Crawford had been bulking up since he fought Madrimov. He'd been bulking up and getting real big. A long time, a long process. And by the time he gets to the face-off with Canelo, everybody who's saying he's too small is gonna feel nervous after that. Because when they finally see him face to face, they're gonna see that he's not too small. And people were laughing at me. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Weight class for a reason. He's too little. And y'all remember that first face-off with Crawford looking down at Canelo? And then after that, Canelo started wearing the platform shoes for the face-off to look the same height. I knew what was going to happen in the ring. I told you guys. Breed, yo, Bug got to give you a bag, bro. You was catching heat from Canelo fans. And you spit straight facts. I was catching heat for 3 months straight. But you know what? I was ready for that type of smoke. Because the same thing happened when Crawford was going to fight Errol. I caught that same exact heat for 3 months straight. Crawford was too little. Errol was too big. Crawford was going to get knocked out. That's it. That's the way that it was going down. Feed me more X. There's no link for this stream, my brother. In the afternoon, the link is available. By the way, my peoples, I almost forgot to tell you guys. Tonight, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I have a special guest that's going to join me for Box Center. I already know, man. Box Center is your favorite boxer show for a reason. You want to tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Real good fight is going to join me. I can't tell you who right now, but it's going to be a surprise. Future world champion, by the way. Future world champion. And most of you guys will recognize him as soon as you see him. But I can't tell you who it is. Black Jericho. No one say you didn't give him credit. Pause. No one wants to be on your little peckerwood. Golly. Yo. At the end of the day, if you spend time going back and forth with somebody about a fight, regardless of what happens, you need to see each other. We can't spend 3 months, 3 whole months, arguing about a fight, and then when the fight happens, you disappear. That's crazy work, bro. Come on now. Come on, my peoples. You gotta be there. You gotta show your face. Gotta show your face. Now, did you make your predictions about Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr.? Did you guys make your prediction about that fight? I'm telling you myself, I haven't been able to make a prediction. I might actually make it right before the weigh-in or after the weigh-in when I see how they look. Does anybody look dehydrated? Does somebody look stronger? I might have to wait for that. I might actually have to wait for that, my peoples. And let me say, a win for either fighter is going to be huge. If Brian Norman Jr. knocks out Devin Haney, he's going to shoot to superstardom. Okay? If he's able to actually knock Devin Haney out, he's going to become a superstar. He's gonna be a huge star. But if Devin Haney beats Brian Norman Jr., he's gonna become a champion in yet another division. That's a big, big win for Devin. So for both guys, this would be huge. For both fighters, that's a huge win. So I'm gonna tell you like this. Based off of their skill set, nobody's getting washed. Forget about the notion that, Brian Norman Jr. is just going to knock him out in 2 rounds and then he's going to smoke him. Or Devin Haney is just going to dance circles around him. Neither one of those situations is going to take place. It's going to be a competitive fight. Now, I think, yes, Brian Norman Jr. has the skill set and is going to apply the type of pressure that he could end up hurting Devin, late in the fight, maybe even stop him. But, again, Devin Haney just has that skill set. That, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm not ready to make a prediction. I'm not ready. Just Do Boxing. Double tap the screen. Support the channel. Hit the like button. Appreciate it, my brother. Yo, Just Do Boxing, man. When I go on your show, I always, of course, hit the like, but you get mad likes, bro. I can't get that reaction. I can't get it. I don't know what it is. It's almost like I attract a lot of people that just don't want to like my shit. They just want to watch it. They like, nah, nigga, I'm not gonna like your shit. But I'm gonna watch it, though. I'm gonna tune in. I'm feeling it. Listen, my people. The whole situation, we was talking about it earlier. The whole situation with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Damn, bro. Are we gonna get that fight? Is that fight actually gonna happen? Because I don't know, man. It look like it's starting to feel like Teofimo is playing games. It's starting to feel like Teofimo. Because, remember, first, it was with Jerron Boots Ennis. That didn't work out. Then it was with Devin Haney. That didn't work out. Now it's with Shakur Stevenson. Damn, this ain't going to work out either. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on, my peoples. But I think that this is a fight that we all want to see. And it's one of those fights where you get 2 champions, young, in their 20s, in their prime, reigning world champions. You don't get that a lot. You do not get that a lot, especially these days. Look at Champion. Look at Tank Davis. He's 30 years old. He never fought anybody of that stature. And he's already 30. It's not easy to get 2 guys in their 20s facing each other. That's why a lot of times, especially in this modern era, you see champions that they face each other in their 30s. Crawford was 36 when he fought Errol. But for how, he tried to fight him for years. Black Jericho, T.O. ducking all the smoke. It's looking like it. But I don't want to say that he's ducking the smoke until we see his next opponent. Why? Because Teofimo Lopez has showed us that he's about to smoke. If we look at his resume, the people he fought, he's shown us that he's about that life. But that's why I tell you guys that Shakur Stevenson is the real boogeyman. Fighters who are willing to fight everybody don't want to fight Shakur. Aspects. Davis never did what? Agent 17. Tank Davis a duck. He ducked the Roach rematch to fight that bum. No, not to fight, to exhibition show Jake Paul. I refuse to call it a fight. It's an exhibition show. Black Jericho. There should have been contracts signed already. I mean, sometimes negotiations can drag, trying to agree on the right numbers, or trying to agree on even, the type of glove we're going to wear, the ring size. There's things that can, extend negotiations. So I'm still hopeful that the fight can get made. But the longer it lasts, the more likely it is that it doesn't happen. Because at some point, either guy is just going to talk to somebody else and make a fight happen with somebody else. Breed, I'ma spread your channel in Germany. Appreciate it, my brother. I've been seeing people from Germany tuning in, man, and I appreciate it. And by the way, some of you shared the live on social media, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on IG, wherever. But I've seen people sharing the live. Yo, salute, my peoples. I really appreciate that. Y'all know what it is, man. It's all love. Aspect 360. Davis got handlers. They do all this money thing. They all do it a money thing. Yeah, but that's the problem, man. When fights don't get made by some fighters, we call them a duck. But when it's the fighters that we like, we don't call them a duck. We got explanations for it. Tank a maniac a message. Look, man, Tank, I'm going to tell you why I consider Tank a duck. On Twitter, Tank Davis has knocked out Shakur Stevenson, slept Teofimo Lopez, and pummeled Devin Haney. In real life, he ain't never signed none of them a contract, ain't never told none of them let's fight. And then Lamar Roach, who's a cherry pick gone wrong because you brought him up for the 130 division, put all type of hands on you, you get gifted a draw, and you skip out on the rematch. My people, we had a fight date. We had a fight date for Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach. And I've been telling people, Lamar Roach got kneecapped. That was a kneecapping exercise we witnessed. That was his fight, his opportunity on the big stage, his payday, and it got taken away from him. Just like that. Aspect. I think Tank beat all of them, though. To me, the only thing got a chance is Tio. See, you think that, but guess what, Aspect 360? Tank Davis don't think that. Tank Davis team don't think that. Tank Davis promoter don't think that, my G. They don't believe you. And I'm telling you that because we talk about the money, right? Oh, Tank Davis about the money. Tank Davis about the money. Who the hell has he fought that will make him more money than Tio, Devin, and Shakur besides Ryan Garcia? Nobody, my brother. Nobody. So when you talk about, when you say, oh, it's about money, it's about money. Are you telling me that he's going to make more money against Frank the Ghost Martin than he would against Tio and Shakur and Devin? He made more money versus Pitbull Cruz, who a lot of you didn't even know before that fight. Never even seen him fight before that fight. He's going to make more money against him? Of course not. And then when you say, no, because Jake Paul is about the money, it's about the money. That's the problem. And all 60 of you can listen to this. If you spent the last 5-6 years bragging about Tank Davis make the most money, Tank Davis put butts in seats, Tank Davis does the most pay-per-views, look, all these millions of dollars. And now you're saying he need a Jake Paul payday after according to you, he been making all these millions and millions and millions of dollars for all these years? He can't do a rematch because he need a payday? That doesn't even add up. Logically, it doesn't add up. He make the most millions For years and years, oh, he make the most, he put in the most butts and seats, he selling the most pay-per-views, he getting the most millions out of everybody. He the face of boxing. And in 2025, all these years later, oh, but it's a payday though. He need a payday, you know. Huh? Superman, DuckTales, woo. There you have it. There you have it. Breed. That goes back to money made. F the game up. So, the thing about Floyd Mayweather, though, my guy, is that before he started, you got to remember, it's at the tail end of his career that he fought Conor McGregor, and you know, he wasn't trying to actually fight the best. That was at the end of his career. Andre Berto, who was a good fighter, but he wasn't the best out there. That was at the end of his career, but Floyd Mayweather was out there putting work. That's why he posted a video saying to Tank Davis, like, yo, they want to get to where I'm at without putting the work that I put in. Nah, that's not how it goes. You know how much work Money May put in before he could become? I mean, you know how much money, how much energy, effort, everything Pretty Boy Floyd put in before he could become Money May? Tank Davis fans talking about he the face of boxing, and he didn't even beat a single reigning champion in the 135 division. Don't you know that Floyd Mayweather was the face of boxing when he was a multi-division champion who already beat multiple future Hall of Famers? That's when he became the face of boxing. And to those of you old enough to remember, Floyd officially was accepted as the face of boxing when he put the beats on Oscar De La Hoya. A goddamn future Hall of Famer. That's when people say, yeah. This the guy right here. I'm sorry, Oscar, but he's him. Floyd Mayweather literally became the face of boxing when he beat Oscar De La Hoya. Fact check me. Look it up. You don't have to take my word for it. Thus, we have to acknowledge. We just simply look right now. Look right now. Who's the face of boxing right now? Aspect 360. Floyd fought and beat the most world champs. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. How do you go from Floyd being the face of boxing, the guy who beat the most champs, to saying Tank Davis is the face of boxing, the guy who didn't beat a single reigning champion in the 135 division? Help me understand that. How he the face of boxing? See? So the real and Canelo's the face of boxing? Who think Canelo's still the face of boxing? Age of 17. Floyd also ducked the Oscar rematch, though. Am I right? He retired for a year and a day and then came back. You're right, age of 17. He did duck the rematch, but he beat him. He beat him. That's what counts. There was no rematch. We can't judge a rematch, right? Age of 17. Now, Crawford or Usyk the face of boxing? Aspect 360. I never said Tank is the face of boxing. He more talented than the rest of them. No, I'm not saying that you called him the face of boxing. I'm just saying that there was that narrative that he was the face of boxing. Yet he hasn't had any of the accomplishments that's made other people the face of boxing. People wanted to make Tank Davis the face of boxing off of popularity alone. And like, that's crazy to me. To me, that's crazy. That's the real face of boxing right there. That is the face of boxing. The guy who beat the face of boxing in front of over 40 million people on a world scale. That's the face of boxing. You have to understand that. Europe, North, South, and Central America, Australia, Africa, Asia. Everybody was watching that fight. Everybody tuned in. 40 plus million people. And not just that 40 plus million. Those are the people who watched it on Netflix. Think about the people that illegally streamed it. There may have been more people watching it illegally than those who paid for it. So this fight could have potentially been watched by 80 plus million people on a world scale. Let that sizzle in your spirit. I'm gonna help you understand the magnitude of that number. If you take Floyd Mayweather and you take all of his fights combined from when he turned pro until he retired, and all of those fights combined have not been watched by 80 million people. All of his fights combined have not been watched by 80 million people. So you gotta remember, pay-per-view, if you did 2-3 million, that's a huge number. Floyd did a million and a couple of million a couple of times. That's a huge number. That's on pay-per-view. This is on Netflix. So Netflix obviously has a wider reach. Think about that. Terrence Crawford put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Canelo Alvarez in over 40 million Netflix account TVs. The letter M, goofballery. Kawana McCrary, should Crawford fight Boots now? I mean, should he? The answer to what Crawford should do is about what he wants to do. Now, he's already said that he's not moving down to 154. So, Boots should already not be in the conversation, to be honest. If he says he's not going to 154, then he should fight a good fighter, a champion in the division where he's going. He's going to 160, fight Carlos Adames, or fight one of the other champions. Because he said he wasn't going to 175. So, people want him to fight the bigger guys. They want him to fight Boots because they think Boots can beat him. But at the end of the day, if he's going to move to 160, I think that he should just pursue Undisputed in another division. To me, that's what he should do. What should he do, in my opinion? Get a title at 160. Why? Because grabbing a title at 160 would make him a 6th division champion. You know how many 6th division champions there are in the history of boxing? 2. Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao. That's it. Terrence Crawford would join that company of only 3 people to have won titles in 6 divisions or more. So there would be more history that he's making right there. So in my opinion, what should he do? Go to 160, grab a title. Breed, but got that look in his eyes, bro. On a mission. Bro, on a mission. And let me tell you something about Crawford. Crawford is, when he turns that switch on, he's one of the meanest guys I ever seen. That's something that people don't realize, people don't see. They just don't understand it. Crawford turns that switch, and there's nobody meaner than this guy, bro. He a mean dude. He out there to bully your ass. Crawford turned that switch on and bully you in the ring. People don't understand that. Y'all remember when he was in the press conference with Errol Spence, I think it was the day before the fight, that one of the Spence, somebody in Spence camp was like, he's scared. And he was like, y'all know Team Crawford, y'all know how I get active. I think that was the moment Errol Spence knew he fucked up. Right there. Like, damn, man, this dude gonna fuck me up. Superman, yes, that mean streak is crazy. Kawana McGregor, that makes sense. Yo, Terrence Crawford, just think about when he comes in contact with other fighters. Remember how he ran up on Errol? I was like, yeah, what's up? What's up? What's good? Errol was like, nah, let's bet 10,000. He was like, let's bet 1,000,000. What's up? I ran up all on Errol. And then remember he ran up on Teofimo, like, what's good? What's that you were saying? And Teofimo was copping plea, like, nah, I was just playing though. I was just trying to sell a fight. What happened was, Terrence Crawford will run up on you in person and holla at you. Kawana McCrary, you're telling the truth, bro. If you stick around, you'll find out that I tend to do that a lot. I promise you. Team RAC, there is a difference in being the face of boxing and the best boxer in the world. There is a difference, yes, but Terrence Crawford is the face of boxing. He's the face of, he's actually, you see, you saying that there's a difference. Oftentimes, it's been the same person. Do you remember when Floyd Mayweather was the face of boxing? He was the face of boxing and the best boxer. Do you remember when Oscar De La Hoya was the face of boxing? He was the face of boxing and the best boxer. So if you go back at the faces of boxing, Team RAC, you'll find out that the face of boxing has always been the best boxer. Remember Muhammad Ali, remember Sugar Ray Leonard, remember if you go back, it's always been the same guy. So the face of boxing and the best boxer only got separated when Tankamaniacs decided to bring money into the conversation. When Tankamaniacs decided that no, because you know he's super popular, so he's the face of boxing. He doesn't have to accomplish anything. Team RHC, I'm just gonna ask you to name the 3 previous face of boxers that you can think of, and then let's look at their resume. Tank Davis fans is the only generation of fans who made their guy the face of boxing without their guy accomplishing shit. Tank hasn't fought a single reigning champion in the 135 division. And you have the balls to call him the face of boxing. That has never happened in the past, bro. So that separation that you're trying to make, that's a Tank Davis fans separation. Ain't nobody else making that separation. The face of boxing has always been the best fighter, has always been the guy fighting the best. And in fact, Tank Davis himself told you he's not the face of boxing just the other day. You know why he told you that? He told you that because he realized, he knows that he's not going to fight any other best. That pressure is going to keep mounting. Fight Shakur, fight Teo, fight Dev. People are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. So what do? He's going to fight an exhibition and retire. And he told you he's not the face of boxing. But if you think popularity alone can give you that title, you're a very small group of people who believe that. Agent 17, my friend says Tank the face of boxing because he fills seats and hypes fights. And I kind of laugh inside like, what is your bro yapping about? Like, Kenneth Hart, Grand Rising everyone in the chat. Kenneth Hart is salute, my brother. Bam, appreciate you dropping in. Terrence Crawford is the face of boxing, my peoples, and I stand on that comfortably. I could stand on that and say it. Young Guns, Tankaholics have to bring up money and popularity because they can't bring up resume. No, look. Let me say something. I want to say something. Being the face of boxing, there has to be a certain level of popularity. You have to be popular to be the face of boxing. But here's the point. Think about the previous faces of boxing. Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali. If you look at the people who've been the face of the sport at some point in their career, they were always the best in their era. All of them at some point reached the number one pound for pound spot in the world. So you became the face of boxing by fighting the best, and fighting the best got you the most money. But now, with Tank Davis, they found a formula where they can make a lot of money, become big stars, and not have to fight the best. Cool, you're making a lot of money. But when people say he's the face of boxing, since when was money the only thing used to name somebody the face of boxing? When did that kick off? When exactly did that kick off? Because let me tell you something. Based off of that logic, Jake Paul should be the face of... Jake Paul should have been the face of boxing. Jake Paul sold more pay-per-views than Tank Davis, where he fought Wardley. And has done bigger numbers than Tank Davis, made more money than Tank Davis, sold more seats than Tank Davis, in a bigger venue than Tank Davis fights. So should he be the face of boxing? Think about that. Should Jake Paul be the face of boxing if he's doing bigger numbers than Tank Davis? Team RHC. I don't disagree, but if money says anything, Tank had 10 straight sellouts in different cities, dispute opponent. The only other one were Canelo and Floyd. So Team RHC, I'm going to tell you where's the flaw in what you're saying. You said 10 sold out, straight sellout in different cities. Number one, that can't be in different cities because he fought a bunch of times in the same place. So I think you capping on that one. It can't be 10 straight in 10 different cities because he's fought in the same place multiple times. I think you stretching that. But let me point something out. One of the places that he sold out is a venue in New Jersey. I can't remember what's the name of it. And bro, that venue, it fits in a little corner of Cowboy Stadium. So what you're not understanding is that he's selling out venues that are not half the size of the venues that Canelo's fighting in. Fact check me. You don't have to take my word for it. So the promoting Tank strategy has worked because you bought into the hype. Look, you're talking about he sold out venues. That's why they put them events in small out venue, in small ass venues, so that they could sell it out and you can say that. The crowd that he sold that venue out with, you go to the big venues and they got a little corner and the whole venue's empty. They got you, they bamboozled you. The star making power worked. It bamboozled you. Because you're sitting here talking about, oh, the venues that he sold. Go look at the size of the venues. Go see if Cowboy Stadium is one of those venues. Go see if Staples is one of those venues. Go see the size of the venues that you're talking about, that he sold out all of them. And then compare them to the size of the venues that Floyd Mayweather was selling out. To the size of the venue Canelo sells out. Once you compare the size of the actual venues, you never make that comparison again. You'll never bring that up again. That's it. That'll be the last time. I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm going to give you an example. That's like me right now. Like, you know, I'm working with a lot of professional fighters, amateur fighters out here. That's like me setting up an event and setting it up in my backyard and putting 20 chairs back there. And then not telling you the number, just telling you guys that I sold out the event. Yo, I sold out the event. And you don't even know I just had 20 chairs in the back. Now, I'm not saying Tank had 20 chairs. What I'm saying is, compared to the venues that Canelo's selling out, yeah, he had 20 chairs, my guy. He had 20 chairs. So that sold out the venue. That shit fooling you. I'll be back, my people. Quick commercial break. I gotta give my son his milk. Stay with me, my people. Let me get the wipes. Hold on, my people. I'll be right back. Red dancing? Let me see. Let me try to find. Hey Alexa, show me Godzilla and King Kong cartoons on YouTube. Which one? Ew. King Kong with dinosaurs. I hope they're gonna get saved. My peoples, y'all know what it is. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Quick commercial break. I had to give my son his milk, get him kicked off for this morning. You know, Black Jericho, double tap that like button. Appreciate it, my brother. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. One thing that I've learned, and I accept it, I guess, when you're starting off, because I only got 2,000 some subscribers. A lot of people still don't know me. It's hard to get that like, man. A lot of people. A lot of people will tune in but won't hit that like button. I don't knock y'all if you don't want to hit the like, my peoples. At some point, you're going to understand that this shit is so fire that you're not going to have no choice but to hit the like button. West does it. I'm late, my peeps. What the science today? My brother, we've been segueing into a lot of different subjects. Who's the face of boxing? We already know that's Terrence Crawford. But the main topic of conversation today has been Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Less than a month away. What a fight. What a fight we about to get, man. Come on, man. Some people making it, an easy prediction for them. Like, oh, this guy's going to win. This guy's going to... But to me, that's a very hard prediction to make. I have not been able to make it. Just because of what Devin Haney brings to the table and what what Brian Norman Jr. brings. Team RAC, I love your show, fam. Agree or disagree. It's always respectful like it should be. This is Jalil Major Hackett, dad, and we're fans and friends with Tank Davis. Salute, my brother. Salute. I appreciate you. And by the way, say what's up to Lori for me. I got mad love for Lori, y'all. And by the way, team RAC, I hope you know. I don't know if you've seen it, but I hope you know I'm Team Jalil Hackett. He got my support 100%. Yes, but is the face. I consider Terrence Crawford the face of boxing. I think, when you beat the face of boxing in front of over 40 million people, come on now. And this is 40 million people on Netflix alone. We're not even talking about all the folks who's illegally streaming the fight. Come on now. You know how many people illegally stream that fight who don't got Netflix all over the world streaming it illegally? And they all watch, not to mention the entire Canelo fan base. Everybody watched Terrence Crawford beat the face of boxing. And the thing about this fight, there's no controversy. There's nobody out there saying, well, Canelo got robbed. They gave it to Crawford. There's none of that. It was a convincing win. So at the end of the day, you have to give it to him. He's the face of boxing. Right now, he is the face of boxing. I see everybody in the chat showing love to Jalil Hackett. The boy is a highlight reel. Just do boxing. Al Booger. What's good, my God? West Dustin, Jay Smith. I got Devin winning a 12-round decision or getting clipped in the 6th. Look, man. Let me just go to this image real quick. I'm going to go to this image. And I want to explain something to you guys. Why I'm at this image. Think about the way that Devin Haney normally fights. The ring IQ, the footwork, the movement. Lomachenko was a tougher than usual fight. Tougher than usual. Why? Because Lomachenko had the athleticism, the footwork to stay right in front of Devin. He forced him into a fight that Devin really didn't want to get into. And I told you guys before, watching the fight live, I thought Lomachenko won. Only when I watched it the next day, I really saw a lot of those body shots that Devin was landing. Remember that body shot that he kept landing on Loma? Boom! Catching him flush. So the next day, I saw him like, nah, Devin won that fight. We was emotional because Lomachenko was putting more hands on Devin than what we used to. So we was emotional. And we was giving him more rounds that he really won. Devin won that fight, but it was a very close and a tough fight. Super competitive. That hook to the body was vicious, though. Team RAC, I agree with you. But the kids with the like, share, and views changed my mind. I remember you had to beat the man to beat the man. That's what I'm talking about, though. That's what I'm talking about. If we look back historically, who's been the face of boxing? Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya. We could go to Sugar Ray Leonard. We could go way back to Ali, way back to Foreman. The people who's been the face of the sport have historically been the ones who's been the #1 pound-for-pound fighter, the ones who's beating the best out there. But things change with social media and the way that popularity can expand. But then that's why I say, if you feel like Tank Davis is the face of boxing because of his popularity, are we going to make Jake Paul the face of boxing based on the pay-per-view numbers that he's done? Can he be the face of boxing? Of course not. Never will be, regardless of how popular he is. Team RAC, Norman Jr. and Haney are both dogs. If it goes the distance, I got them. If it's a stoppage, I got Norman. Personally, I got Norman Jr. 9th round. Oof. Damn, man. Look, so let me tell you something, Team RAC. At first, when they first announced the fight, I was like, yo, Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock Devin Haney out. He knocking him out. That's it. I felt confident. But then, bro, I seen Devin Haney training. I seen how he looks. I see his body. I'm hearing, what Zach Judah saying about that training camp. And of course, the respect that I got for Devin Haney as a fighter, right? And now I'm split right down the middle. I'm having a real hard time making a prediction because I know what both of these guys bring to the table. But you know why? And I think you're gonna feel me on this, my brother. You know why I bring up the Lomachenko fight? Here's why. Fearless Rick Boxing, salute my brother. The letter M, salute my guy. Here's why I bring up Lomachenko in this conversation. We know that he has the footwork, the athleticism, the ring IQ to stay right in front of Devin. And he forced a fight. This wasn't the type of situation where Devin was gonna just dance around Loma. He had to earn that win. Loma made him fight. And at times made him uncomfortable. So I feel like Mr. Brian Norman Jr. has the athleticism, the size, because he's much bigger than Lomachenko, to push Devin into a fight, to force the action. I feel certain, I can promise you this, my peoples, Devin Haney is not going to be able. I'm going to change your cartoons right now, Ryan. I promise you, Devin Haney is not going to be able to dance around Brian Norman Jr. the same way he did against Jose Ramirez. That is not happening. This kid has a level of athleticism, a size, that he's going to push the action. He's going to push the action. Devin Haney, I believe, is going to have to pull off a Lamont Roach on Tank Davis. He's going to have to be successful on the inside to win this fight. That one? Lo que tiene la mano amarillo. My bad, my peoples. I'm trying to find some cartoons for my son. So again, my peoples, I'm having a super hard time with making a prediction for this fight because Brad Norman Jr. is simply that skilled. He's that good. And Devin Haney also has, all type of tools in the bag. Wes doesn't. Boxing for breakfast and babies. Fatherhood over everything. You know it, my brother. I'll go on a commercial break for my son real quick, whether it's to give him his milk, to change his cartoons, whatever it is. um, my peoples, check me out, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning, and I want to let you guys know, and I said it earlier too, man, to me, it really is an honor. It's a privilege. I feel super lucky that Mondays through Fridays in the morning, you guys decide to spend some time with me. Whether you talking boxing, whether you trash talking, whether you just listening in, But in the morning, I know a lot of you are waking up, getting ready for work. Some of you driving to work. Sometimes people tell me, "Oh, Jay, I just got to work, man. I'm gonna see you tomorrow." And like that means a lot to me, my people. You have no idea, because you're taking some of the time of your morning to hang out with me. That's just the way it is. We all hanging out right here talking boxing. So salute to everybody tuning in, man. I want to get specific though. I want to give a shout out to West Dusset, Superman, Black Jericho, Cano Crush, the letter M. Want to give a shout out to Fearless Rick Boxing, West Dusset. Who else was in the building? Of course, Team RHC. Salute, my brother. Really appreciate you tuning in. Al Booger was in the building. Just Do Boxing, my brother. JJ Zendejas, my brother. Yo, everybody, man, who been showing love. You know, without you guys, Boxing for Breakfast would not be what it is. Somebody said something earlier that was very important, and I want to point it out. And he was like, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, I don't always agree with you, Jay. I don't always agree with you, but, you know, I love what you're doing. I enjoy the show. And honestly, my peoples, that's really what it's about. You know, we're not supposed to agree on everything. We're not supposed to have the same talking points on everything. What makes it an interesting conversation is when we could be respectful towards each other and disagree. That's what make this show what it is. We disagree, we trash talk, we do all of it, but at the end of the day, we all love the sweet science. Simple as that. The letter M. It's the Macho Man shades. I had another pair and boom, I was like, oh shit. Ran into these on my way back. Let me make the switcheroonie. So again, my peoples, man, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Wait, my word, the J Stradamus words of the day. Because every time I end the show and I don't put out the J Stradamus words of the day, somebody hit me up privately like, yo, Jay, what happened, man? You didn't give us the Jay Stradamus words of the day this time. So I got you, my people. Come on, man. I got you. I got you with the Jay Stradamus words of the day. I'm not going to let you go like that. It's Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday. Get ready, my peoples. My peoples. On this Thursday, let me just tell you guys that one of the worst mentalities that you can have, and that's like a social media new era mentality, is the no new friends mentality. I remember Drake, I think it was Drake that made that popular. You know, like 10 years ago, some shit like that. I don't know. No new friends. And even till this day, people say, oh, no new friends, no new friends. Let me put you on, my peoples. You could meet somebody today who will do more for you than somebody who know you your whole life. You could meet somebody today that will support what you do, while the people who know you your whole life won't support you. So no new friends is actually the dumbest mindset that you can have. I hope nobody get mad at me for saying that. I don't want to knock nobody. If that's your mindset, do you. But you have to understand that you know a very small circle of people. Like the people that you know personally and the people that you're friends, that's a small group of people. There's a lot of people out there who will support you to the fullest. Let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you guys something. When I started this channel, somebody that knew me since we was kids, childhood friends, that nigga told me, yo, Jay, your boxing channel's whack. Now y'all think about that. People who actually love the sweet science, whether they agree or disagree with me, I've never had somebody tell me, yo, your shit is whack. Now, if it's somebody that don't like me, that's different. If you don't like me, I expect that. But somebody who grew up with me, tell me, yo, nigga, your boxing shit is whack. So, what I'm trying to show you is, you will not get most of the support from the people who know you. You will not get most of the support from the people who grew up around you. Most of them motherfuckers don't give a shit about you. That's the truth. They might say, what's up, hey, what's up, hey. But anything you do, they won't support it. Meanwhile, strangers, they'll support you. You guys met me the other day, right here on Box Center. Some of you guys will hit the like. You guys will comment. Some of you guys will share my live. Some of you guys will share my videos. And people who grew up with me, who've been around me my whole life, have never even hit the like button, bro. Ever. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Fearless Rick Boxing. True thing. Sometimes they're jealous. That's part of it. That's part of it. People see you got something going for yourself and they'll be jealous and they wish that it wasn't that way. That's reality. But what I'm trying to show you, my peoples, and my point of all this, is that you should always be open to meeting new people. You should always be open to engaging new people with a whole different point of view. You have to. Agent 17, John Parham is a real one. Hell yeah. You see John Parham? He's one of the guys that I said when I start selling the merch, I'm gonna send him his hat, his shirt. He's gonna get free merch. You're gonna get free everything. And you know why? Because John Parham subscribed to this channel when I had like 300 and something subscribers. When I was going live with 4 people for 30 minutes, just me and 4 people going at it, John Parham was going in there. John Parham was telling other people, yo, subscribe to this channel. This guy's talking that shit. So he's part of the reason why a lot of people know me right now. He's part of the reason why a lot of people subscribe to this channel right now. Salute to John Parham. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes the people that you don't know personally are the ones that actually really see your talent, see what you really bring to the table. The ones around you, they too focused on projecting their failure. They're too focused on, yo, if I couldn't do that, you're not going to be able to do that. I couldn't do that. There's no way. You come on now. Yo, I told the guy, this is when I really, because I've always known that you don't tell people about your plans until you actually do them, because they're going to hate on you. When I was going to start this channel, I also told another person that I thought was my guy, right? That's my guy. I was like, bro, I'm going to start. You know, a lot of people telling me to start the boxing channel. And, you know, it's been a long time coming. I think I'm going to do it, bro. I'm going to do it. This dude told me, bro, I know somebody that did a boxing channel. That didn't go nowhere. You're going to waste your time with that shit. If I would have listened to that person, there would have never been no Boxing for Breakfast. There would have never been no Box Center. So you see, the people around you, oftentimes, They don't want you to do things that they feel they can't do. So people don't even realize you surround yourself with a group of people and they'll be the motherfuckers keeping you down and you don't even realize it. They the ones keeping you down. Then what happens is you get around a whole different group of people and that group is like, damn, bro, you nice. Ooh, goddamn, can you show me that? Goddamn. And that's when you're like, damn, this whole time, those motherfuckers holding me back. So what's the Jay Stradamus words of the day? Number one, no new friends. Forget about that. Be open to meeting new people. Be open to creating new relationships. And always remember that a lot of the people that you call your friends, they're not your friends. They not. I promise you. There's somebody right now who you call your friend right now who's gonna shit on you within the next 5 to 10 years. One way or another. I promise you. You're gonna be like, damn, this nigga Jay Smith was right. There's somebody who you think is your guy. You're gonna be shitted on. You're gonna be like, damn, this motherfucking piece of shit. So there you have it, my people. That's the word of the day. Be open to engaging new people, to meeting new people. And at the same time, most importantly, yo, keep looking forward, keep going forward, keep progressing, keep being better. Do everything to continue to be better. There you have it, my peoples. One love to everybody who tuned in. This was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Tomorrow, we get it popping at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to do what we do. Salute to everybody who tuned in, man. I'm Jay Smith. I'm getting the hell out of here. Bam. You see the veggie came in Superman. You know how the veggie does. We out of here, my peoples. One love.